Hello, scavenger hunters. Welcome to the site of the historic and world-famous Balinese Room. I'm Kimber Fountain, author of The Maceos and the Free State of Galveston, an authorized history. The proprietors and managers of the Balinese Room were two brothers from Sicily, Salvatore and Rosario Maceo, affectionately known as Sam and Rose. They were the center of an era of Galveston history that lasted nearly 40 years, known as the Free State of Galveston. But much more than the criminals or gangsters that history inaccurately portrays them to be, the Maceos were brilliant businessmen, they were visionaries, and more than anything, they were grand entertainers. The Balinese Room became a world-renowned dinner club, not only for the massive gambling hall housed behind the dining room, but also because the Balinese hosted some of the most famous celebrities and entertainers of the day. Perhaps the most famous name to grace the halls of the Balinese was Frank Sinatra, although he never actually performed in Galveston. Sinatra became a close family friend after the Maceos invested in the Sands Casino in Las Vegas in the late 1940s, where Sinatra was also an investor. He would dine at the Balinese Room for publicity purposes when he was visiting Galveston, but he never sang a note. Another lesser-known fact about this location is that the Balinese was not the first business that the Maceos operated here. They purchased the property in 1921 and operated at least 4 different restaurants before the Balinese Room opened 20 years later in 1942. It wasn't their first gambling club either. That was the Hollywood Dinner Club, located over on 61st Street, opened in 1926. Now, gambling halls were nothing new in the United States at this time, but they were typically dark, back alley rooms, and the Maceos changed all of that. The Hollywood Dinner Club became the first place in the nation that offered high-end gambling, gourmet food, and high-class entertainment all under one roof. It was this template, created right here in Galveston by the Maceos, that was later adopted in the 1940s and used to make Las Vegas into what it is today. Unfortunately, the Hollywood was all but closed within 2 years of its opening because of raids from law enforcement. But this inspired Sam and Rose to create a raid-proof club. They decided to reinvent their seawall property and constructed a 600-foot pier that reached out over the Gulf of Mexico. It connected a lobby, which was about where you're standing right now, to the main building that was shaped in a T. At the base of the T was the dining room, and the head of the T housed the gambling halls. That 600-foot covered walkway would sarcastically become known as Ranger Run after the Texas Rangers. No matter how fast they ran, though, it still took them at least 3 minutes to reach the back gambling hall, and that gave the dealers and the patrons just enough time to convert the entire room into an innocent after-dinner soiree, where people were merely sipping on sodas, playing billiards and bridge. The Balinese Room was not successfully raided in 15 years, and it is speculated that even when it was finally raided in 1957, the Rangers had to get a lot of help from the inside. Sam and Rose Maceo, keen and clever, are therefore credited with successfully building a raid-proof club.